I'm Abigail Galvan. Tonight on EWTN News Nightly. The road ahead. We take a look at the upcoming weekend for Pope Leo XIV as he prepares to take possession of more papal basilicas. An apple a day. President Trump threatens tariffs against the EU and one of the largest tech giants. Staying prepared. The 2025 hurricane season is nearly upon us. Learn what's making this year different. Plus,
praise to the one who made me.
Find out the connection between a new worship song and Pope Leo. These stories and more tonight.
From EWTN, the Global Catholic Network, this is EWTN News Nightly.
Thank you for being with us. Our top story tonight, stocks closed lower today as President Trump reignited his trade war. He is now threatening a hefty tax on all imports from the European Union. The president says the EU has been very difficult to deal with. And he is also taking aim to Apple as well, which one lawmaker warns will impact Americans' wallets. White House correspondent Owen Jensen reports. Owen?
That's right, Abby. Good evening to you. President Trump announced the new tariff threats against the EU and Apple on social media will begin tonight with the EU, where right now a key date looms just days away.
Before the opening bell on Wall Street, President Donald Trump blasts the EU over how current talks are going on trade, writing, "Our discussions with them are going nowhere. Therefore, I am recommending a straight 50% tariff on the European Union starting on June 1st, 2025. There is no tariff if the product is built or manufactured in the United States." The president in the Oval Office this afternoon expanded on that.
I'm not looking for a deal. I mean, we've set the deal. It's at 50%. But again, there is no tariff if they build their plant here.
The president has cut China's tariffs to 30%. The EU has proposed mutually cutting tariffs to zero, even as the president has publicly insisted on preserving a baseline 10% tax on most imports. New Hampshire Senator Jeanne Shaheen, currently visiting Canada, criticized the president's move against the EU.
Well, it's unfortunate that the president is going after our strongest allies, because at a time when we're facing adversaries like China and Russia, when the global situation is so precarious, we need to do everything we can to work together with our allies.
Also this morning, there was this post targeting Apple. "I have long ago informed Tim Cook of Apple that I expect their iPhones that will be sold in the United States of America will be manufactured and built in the United States, not India or any place else. If that is not the case, a tariff of at least 25% must be paid by Apple to the U.S."
It would be more. It would be also Samsung and anybody that makes that product. Otherwise, it wouldn't be fair. And that'll start on, I guess, the end of June.
Senator Shaheen not too happy about that either.
Well, again, this is something that's going to have a big impact on consumers. Almost everybody in the country has an iPhone. Now, they're not all Apple iPhones, but for those of us who do, those are going to cost more. It's going to have a ripple effect across the economy.
Meanwhile, President Trump also posting on Truth, "Our negotiated deal with the United Kingdom is working out well for all. I strongly recommend to them, however, that in order to get their energy costs down, they stop with the costly and unsightly windmills and incentivize modernized drilling in the North Sea, where large amounts of oil lay waiting to be taken."
And on this Friday, heading into the Memorial Day weekend, President Trump left earlier today for Trump National Golf Club, Bedminster, New Jersey, and tomorrow he'll deliver the commencement address at West Point. At the White House, Owen Jensen, EWTN News Nightly.
The Trump administration is accusing Columbia University of violating federal civil rights law by failing to protect Jewish students. The White House says an investigation has found the school has acted with deliberate indifference toward harassment of Jewish students on campus since October 2023. The university says it is committed to combating anti-Semitism and all forms of discrimination on campus and is working with the federal government to address the issue. Meanwhile, a federal judge has issued a temporary halt on the Trump administration's move to ban Harvard from enrolling international students. The university previously called it unlawful for the Department of Homeland Security to revoke its certification in the Student and Exchange Visitor Program. The school called the White House's action retaliation for its refusal of, quote, ideologically rooted policy demands. About 27% of the student body at Harvard is made up of international students. At least 9 people are dead after an Israeli airstrike hits a house in the northern Gaza Strip. The attacks happened early this morning. More than 50 people were sheltering in the building. This comes as another airstrike targeted a town in the southern part of Gaza. Russia and Ukraine say a major prisoner swap between the two countries is underway. Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky says the first phase of the exchange brought home more than 300 Ukrainians, including soldiers and civilians. Further releases are expected over the weekend, which will make it the largest swap of the war. The news was celebrated by President Donald Trump, saying in part, quote, congratulations to both sides of this negotiation. This could lead to something big. Today in Rome, a 5th round of negotiations took place between the U.S. and Iran. The mediator from Oman says some, but not conclusive, progress was made. The Trump administration sent Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and other officials. The U.S. is demanding that Iran stop enriching uranium, but Tehran insists the program must continue. On Sunday, Pope Leo will take possession of the Cathedral Church of Rome, the Lateran Basilica. He will also continue a centuries-old tradition, visiting the city's other main churches. EWTN Vatican journalist Valentina Di Donato has more.
At the start of every new pontificate, the Holy Father takes possession of the Basilica of St. John Lateran, the Cathedral Church of the Diocese of Rome, as he starts to fulfill his role as Bishop of Rome. But before this, the Pope traditionally also visits the 3 other papal basilicas in the Eternal City.
Every Pope starts his new mission as a shepherd of Universal Church, visiting 4 papal basilicas. Of course, the celebration of the inauguration of the mission starts in St. Peter's Basilica, and after there are another 3 papal basilicas: St. Lateran, St. John in Lateran, after St. Paul, and St. Mary Major on Esquiline Hill.
At St. Mary Major, the rite will take place on Sunday. Cardinal Rolandas Macricas, coadjutor archpriest of the Basilica of St. Mary Major, explained to EWTN the special significance of the visit to St. Mary Major.
We know already the history that from 14th century, the rite was always this, that the Pope was coming in these 4 basilicas, and especially to Basilica of St. Mary Major, to entrust his mission to Mary, because Pope has to have the mind of Peter, of Paul, but the heart of Mary. And so this is a very special prayer at the icon of Salus Populi Romani, to ask Mary's protection and Mary's help for his mission, with humility as Mary to tell yes to God's will.
Earlier this week, Pope Leo also visited St. Paul outside of the walls. We met with Father Ludovico, Master of Novices at the Abbey of the Basilica, who sees the papal possession as an important moment in any papacy.
Obviously, it is all linked to the tomb of St. Paul, the importance of St. Paul, for the Pope, for the Church, for the faithful. St. Paul, together with St. Peter, is the column of the Christianity. He's the one where Jesus Christ founded his church together with Peter.
When the persecution of Christians was stopped by Roman Emperor Constantine's edict, he also became the first Roman emperor to convert to Christianity. He decided that St. Paul and St. Peter needed proper tombs to allow people to come and venerate their relics and pray for their intercession.
And you can imagine there's a very long tradition of faith coming here since then. And even the fire didn't stop it. It's a place that helps the reflections inside. You can breathe, you can feel this atmosphere of meditation. Externally, as you can see, it's very simple. Internal is very glorious.
In St. Paul, outside of the walls, the mosaic portraits of all of the past popes line the walls. And soon, the portrait of Pope Leo XIV will follow in line as the new successor of Peter. In Rome, Valentina Di Donato for EWTN News Nightly.
There's still more to come on EWTN News Nightly. One hurdle is cleared, but another is on the way. As the big beautiful bill rolls into the Senate, there are already bumps on the road for both parties. Plus, we'll bring you the biggest Catholic concert of its kind in Southeast Europe. One chapter is over and another begins for the massive tax and spending bill passed by the Republican-controlled House, carrying with it much of President Trump's domestic agenda. Now it's the Senate's turn, where GOP senators are eyeing key changes that could mean a major rewrite of the package and conflict with House Republicans. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says the number one issue is spending cuts. EWTN correspondent Mark Irons has the latest.
I think a lot of our colleagues have made it very clear that in order for a bill to get through the House and the Senate and on the President's desk, it has to make a meaningful dent in the out-of-control spending we've seen over the past several years.
Senator Thune and other Republicans, like Budget Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham, say the $1.5 trillion in cuts in the House bill aren't nearly enough. They want $2 trillion or more.
There's some of these cuts are not real, and we're talking about over a decade. You know, if you do $1.5 trillion, that's like 1.5%. So let's don't get high on our horse here that we've somehow made some major advancement of reducing spending, because we didn't.
Senator Rand Paul made it clear he's also not on board.
Borrowing this money just isn't fiscally conservative. I've told him I can support the package if they separate the debt ceiling off and have a separate vote on that. I want nothing to do with that. I didn't vote for the spending, I didn't vote for the debt, and I'm not voting to make it easier on people who want bigger government.
Other key sticking points that the Senate's likely to change include Medicaid cuts and financing, clean energy credit sunset dates, SNAP and other food assistance cost sharing with states for the first time. No Democrats voted for the House-passed bill, and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer predicts prices will rise and cuts in safety net programs will hurt millions of American families.
It ain't beautiful, it is ugly. They've moved up the deadline for when SNAP is cut, when Medicaid is cut. That's going to mean programs will not have time to adjust. Food pantries, rural hospitals, other hospitals will close.
The Senate will start work on the bill the first week of June, and the big question is how far will Republicans go in changing it? The House and Senate would have to work out differences before they could pass the final version and send it to President Trump.
The Atlantic hurricane season is right around the corner, and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration predicts it is going to be busy. The season, which runs from June 1st to November 30, predicts a 30% chance of a near normal season, a 60% chance of an above normal season, and a 10% chance of a below normal season. So we are looking at 13 to 19 named storms. Of those, 6 to 10 are forecast to become hurricanes, including 3 to 5 major hurricanes, Category 3 or above. Matt Rosencrans is NOAA's lead seasonal forecaster. Thank you for being with us. Matt, why will it be above average?
Yeah, Abby, we're looking at a few factors, from some warm sea surface temperatures in the Caribbean and the Gulf, as well as some favorable wind patterns over Western Africa, and then something in the Pacific, and ENSO neutral, that will not kind of interfere with any of that. So it should be an active season.
The 2024 hurricane season was the third costliest season on record. Back-to-back hurricanes Helene and Milton brought widespread devastation to a number of states. Will this season be as bad as last year?
So this forecast does not contain landfall information. It's just really the numbers of storms that could form over the Atlantic. And if there's more storms, there is a higher chance of any one of them coming to anybody's backyard and bringing some damage to them. So preparing now is really key.
And what is the best way to prepare for a hurricane?
Consult your state's emergency management plan on their website. And your county and local emergency managers have great plans and resources. But the first step for everyone individually is to know your risk. Like if you're living near the coast, it's coastal flooding. If you're inland, it's heavy rains. If you're in more of an exposed area, it can be the high winds that can really damage your property and potentially harm your life. So really knowing your risk allows you to plan for it, and planning makes you able to be safer.
Now, the outlook comes amid a series of Trump administration cuts to NOAA, which includes the National Weather Service. Do you feel confident the reductions in staff won't impact your ability to forecast?
Yeah, so I'm really focused on the hurricane outlook, and we are calling for that above normal season. So just really getting people prepared is really my focus.
Great, and you gave excellent suggestions for how people can be prepared. Matt Rosenkrantz, thank you so much for joining us.
Good to talk to you.
Last weekend, thousands of faithful gathered in Croatia for one of the largest Catholic concerts in Europe. EWTN Vatican journalist Benedict Sedergreen has more.
To look with the heart, Progledaj Sercem in Croatian, is the name of the annual Faithful concert organized by Laudato TV, the country's leading Catholic television network. It is the largest event of its kind in Southeast Europe. Gathering over 30,000 people from all parts of Croatia and neighboring countries in music and prayer, this year's edition also marked the 10th anniversary of the event that continues to deepen faith among participants.
This night, it offers something that no club or coffee shop can offer. It's love. It's endless love that God is giving us every day, and this is a chance for us to accept that love.
Since 2014, Catholic singers and music groups have filled different arenas throughout the city with uplifting prayers set to music. Archbishop Giorgio Lingua, the Apostolic Nuncio to Croatia since 2019, has attended the concert for 3 years in a row. In an interview with EWTN, he explained how the event is a true expression of the living faith he has encountered since the day of his arrival in the country.
Seeing people, especially young people, gathering to celebrate and give glory to God, this is a beautiful thing. This is an expression of vitality present in the parishes, associations, and movements that then come together, convened by Laudato TV, which in this sense provides a very good service.
Archbishop Lingua also stressed the importance of music in enriching and nurturing the spiritual life of the faithful.
St. Augustine said that he who sings prays twice. Now we have an Augustinian Pope, so this reminds us of it even more.
For both the artists and the faithful crowd, this is no ordinary concert. Beyond the lyrics and every sung note, there is faith, deep, vibrant, and shared. For Vanessa Mioch, whose faith, she explained, is at the heart of her musical career, it is precisely the faith of all involved that makes the experience so unique and powerful.
It's so amazing to be able to share those things, the work we all are doing throughout the year, the songs we're writing, singing, and then be able to sing it here in front of other people, and most importantly to hear those other people singing with you and praising the Lord. It's just such a beautiful experience.
In Zagreb, Croatia, Benedict Sedergreen, EWTN News Nightly.
Up next on EWTN News Nightly, Finding the Way, a new tourism route tells the story of Pope Leo XIV. We have the details, plus the connection between the Holy Father and a brand new song. As we reported earlier this week, the National Eucharistic Pilgrimage is underway. Right now, the team is in Iowa. They are traveling on the Drexel route, which began in Indianapolis and will end in Los Angeles on June 18th. Father Joseph Mary Wolf is the chaplain of the Eternal Word television network. He sat down with Archbishop of Dubuque, Thomas Nkola, to talk about the significance of the Blessed Sacrament heading up the Mississippi River.
Let's talk about the symbolism of how the Blessed Sacrament is going to arrive from your old Diocese of Davenport, coming up the Mississippi River to here in Dubuque.
Dubuque became a diocese early on, really, so I think the 15th or so, back in 1837. Because of the Mississippi, the faith came up,
right?
You know, the Mississippi and with the people that immigrated here. And so I think, you know, just and
that was
Davenport's on the Mississippi, and we're on the Mississippi.
There's a new tourist attraction in Peru, and it's inspired by the new Pope. The country has officially launched a new route called the Paths of Pope Leo XIV. It's a tourism route that highlights the places where the Holy Father exercised his ministry. It covers 4 regions and includes a cathedral, a number of parishes, a convent, and more. A new worship song is taking some inspiration from Pope Leo.
Oh, praise to the one who made me, praise to the God who knows my name, who came into the world so that I can call him friend.
Son of Man by Noam Collective is inspired by Pope Leo XIV's first homily. The group wrote and recorded the song, quote, as an anthem of prayer for this new era in the church. Joining us now to talk some more about this is Sarah Mulholland, singer-songwriter with Noam Collective. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. We mentioned the song took its inspiration from Pope Leo's first homily. Walk us through the process of how this came about.
Thank you so much for having me. So one of the scriptures that Pope Leo used during his first homily with the cardinals in the Sistine Chapel was Matthew 16, where he asked Peter, who do people say that the Son of Man is? And he asked Peter, who do you say that the Son of Man is? And Peter says, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. And that's really where we drew our inspiration for this song.
And how does your song reflect the exciting moments we're experiencing as a church right now?
I think especially for me, I mean, the Pope is from America, which is where I'm from, and that's just such a special moment that he started his ministry where I'm able to do mine right now.
And I understand the chorus is based off of Psalm 139. How so?
So the song actually started years ago. Me and Leo, who is the co-writer of the song, we started with that line, praise to the one who made me. And I think especially with the Pope, it's so beautiful to think that the Lord has made him for this mission and has placed him in this mission. It fit him perfectly. So we took it off the shelf and we were able to put it into this song.
That's great. And can you tell us a little bit more about Noam Collective?
Yeah, so Noam Collective is a mission that serves the Catholic Church in fostering authentic worship. We provide worship leadership throughout the country and throughout the world. And we provide resources for parishes who want to expand their own worship ministries.
And lastly, where can people listen to your song?
We can be found on Spotify, on YouTube, on all of your music streaming resources, Apple Music, and other music streaming resources.
Well, I hope our viewers will check you out. Sarah Mulholland, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you as well.
Finally, tonight, just a reminder that if you'd like to learn more about Pope Leo XIV, you can order a copy of the latest book by EWTN News Vice President and Editorial Director, Dr. Matthew Bunson. Leo XIV, Portrait of the First American Pope, is available now. You can order your own copy online at EWTNReligiousCatalog.com. The book examines the newly elected pontiff's life and his early decisions that signaled a desire to place himself within the church's tradition. We thank you for watching tonight. Remember, you can follow us on social media, Facebook, X, and Instagram at EWTN News Nightly. I'm Abigail Galvan. Good night and God bless.